Today is going to be a little bit of a fun video. We're going to build a portfolio of dividend stocks that's going to pay you every single month of the year. But we're going to do this as simply as possible and with as few stocks as possible. So let's get into it. The production value has stepped up ever so slightly, and today we're bringing you a PowerPoint presentation. We've got a whole slideshow ready for this one. So the idea of this is to build a portfolio of decent dividend paying funds or stocks that will pay you, that you can guarantee a passive income from every single month of the year. So you never have to go a month without getting some dividends in from these companies. I've done a video like this before and I'll try and link it somewhere above so you can check that one out. But I just wanted to sort of see if there was a way to do this with as few stocks as possible, because obviously it's easy to fill the entire year if you've got like 20 stocks, but can you do it with less stocks? I think we've done it, but let's have a look. So January is quite a dry month in terms of dividends. Most companies seem to tend to pay like September, November, some in the summer, that sort of time. Not that many pay in January and February. So that was quite hard, but let's have a look. So to get paid in January, you could invest into Associated British Foods. I spoke about them on a video very recently, but they are a food producer company in the UK. But alongside that, they're also the parent brand for some really big companies like Primark, which shocked me quite a lot. So Associated British Foods will pay you twice a year, and we'll see their other payment come up soon. But they've got a dividend yield of around 2.8%. They've been gradually increasing their dividends with a dip in 2020 as expected, and they're not yet back up pre-pandemic levels. If you owned 100 shares of Associated British Foods, your payment will be, the interim payment will be about £13.80, and the final payment, which is the one that we've just looked at in January, will come in at £29.90. So bear them figures in mind, and let's just see how much it would cost to actually buy the 100 shares. So 100 shares of ABF, Associated British Foods, will cost you just over £1,500. This portfolio will actually pay you twice in January, and the second company that will pay you is National Grid. I'm sure you've heard of National Grid. I've got them in my own portfolio. I bang on about them a lot, but they are a gas and electricity provider here in the UK. Absolutely massive company, and one that features in a lot of dividend investors' portfolios here in the UK. So again, National Grid, just like Associated British Foods, will pay you twice a year. And if you have 100 shares, you will be getting £33.76 in one payment and £17.84 in the next payment. Obviously, these figures can change slightly, but it's just as an idea. 5.1% dividend yield, and they've also been doing well at increasing their dividends over time. So how much would it cost you to actually own those 100 shares of National Grid to get paid them figures we just looked at? Well, it will be just short of £1,000. This will change depending on the stock price of National Grid at the time that you buy, but roughly speaking, it will put you back just under £1,000 to actually own 100 shares of National Grid. So let's move on to February. Which company can you own that will pay you in February? Well, we've got British American Tobacco. Absolutely gigantic tobacco, obviously, company, gives it away in the name. They also produce like vaping products and things like that. It's not one I currently have, but it's very, very popular. British American Tobacco are actually a quarterly dividend payer, so they will pay you not once, not twice, not 3 times, but you'll be getting 4 payments across the year for this stock. Dividend yield is very high for this one, 6.8%. And if you have 100 shares of British American Tobacco, you'll be getting, with that dividend yield, quite a nice amount, £54.47. Let's have a look at how they're doing. So they have been increasing their dividends over time, but they've had a few dips that you can see here. 100 shares of British American Tobacco will cost you quite a lot. It will cost you £3,187. But with that, you'll be getting those payments that we just saw on the previous screen. So that's the only payment you'll be getting in February, but it is a pretty decent one. The one that you're going to want in the portfolio to pay you in March is actually a fund, and it's VHYL. Vanguard's High Dividend ETF. This is a fund that focuses on dividend paying companies, and it's got a very good yield for this fund that is going to pay you a very good dividend yield, And essentially what it is different dividend paying companies all across the world. So you're getting your UK companies, but you're also getting your US Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, you're getting Nestle across the world. You're getting emerging markets, quite a big exposure to the emerging markets actually. I think it's about 12%. So yeah, this is a good one to have in my opinion, and it's going to pay you in March along with some other months. If you're interested in finding out more about this ETF, I've done a whole video on this, so I'll try and remember to link it above, but if not, it's on my channel and it wasn't too long ago. VHYL will actually pay you a quarterly dividend, so 4 times a year, and currently their dividend yield sits at about 4.3%, which is actually really, really good for an ETF like this one. They've not got too much data. They've had some increase. I wouldn't say it's not a picture of health in terms of dividend growth investing, but it's still a pretty decent picture. So let's just take a look how much 100 shares will actually cost you of VHYL and how much they'll pay you. So 100 shares of VHYL will pay you these figures here. I know this is ruining my dates a little bit, but this one seems a little bit harder to do on Dividend Max, so we're just going to jump over here. And I believe that at the moment it sits at around £49 per share. So you're looking at just under 5,000 for those 100 shares to pay you these sort of figures every single year. So once you've got your payment in March, you're moving on to April, and we've got a different stock here. We've got Diageo, which is of course a global beverage producer and one that produces some brands that you will 100% know about. It's a company that I have in my own portfolio and I'm really, really enjoying having it there. Diageo will pay you twice a year, so you'll get your interim payment and your final payment, and the dividend yield comes in at 2.1%. So it's not the highest, but still a very, very good quality company to have. And you can see here, they have been able to increase their dividends year on year on year. So 100 shares of Diageo will cost £3,619 currently, and they'll be paying you 2 payments a year, with the final payment being higher than the interim, the final being £46.82 roughly. You can see here it's a little bit different sometimes, but it's gradually going up, and the interim payment being just short of 30. So maybe next time it will be around the £30 mark. Moving into May, you've got another payment from British American Tobacco. So we've already looked at them. They've paid you in February. They're back again to pay you in May. And then in June, you get a second payment from VHYL. Moving into July, you're going to get another payment from Associated British Foods, which we saw back in January. In August, you're going to get a payment from British American Tobacco and also from National Grid, which you saw back in January at the beginning of the year. So already by August, you have had 3 payments from British American Tobacco. In September, you are going to get your 3rd payment from VHYL. And hopefully you're reinvesting all of your dividends to grow your positions in the companies that you have, unless of course you need those dividends for another reason. Moving into October, you're going to get your 2nd and final payment from Diageo, the global beverage producer. Moving into November, when things are getting really, really chilly, you're going to get your last payment from British American Tobacco. So they're spread quite nicely across the year really. February, May, August, November. And in December, to finish off the whole year, you are going to get your final payment from VHYL. Like I said, it's quite easy to put together a portfolio that will pay you every single month of the year. But to do that, you'll have to have a lot of companies. This is obviously, I'm not telling you to go and invest into these companies. It's just a bit of fun, really. But we've managed to get paid every single month of the year, passive income, just by investing into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 companies. So that's already smaller than my portfolio. And I know I'm going to have some months where I don't get paid, which is fine. But yeah, this is quite interesting and it's a fun one to do. So let me know if you've got any of these companies. Let me know if you've got any of these companies on your watch list that you may be wanting to add. And yeah, just let me know which months pay you the most in dividends, which months maybe don't pay you at all if you're a dividend investor. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you very shortly for the next one.